Hey YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. So I have a new battery in my phone, so I should be able to make videos like I used to. Walking around, the phone not having to be charged up, all that good stuff. Feels good. By the way, it's 37 degrees out here, so I hope you guys appreciate my braving the mid-January temperatures. But then again, I am a Washington wimp, admittedly. I'm a Washington wimp. So 37 degrees isn't really that bad, especially when you have a coat on and a sweater. But my fingers are a little bit cold. They're not actually that bad. It's not that bad. So that one house that had all those colors, that one doesn't have all those colors. I hope that wondering if they have a new tenant or new resident, because that house always had colors up. Maybe they just took them down. I don't know. That was kind of one of the highlights of my little neighborhood around here. If you guys remember some other videos being that way. So I had some things in my mind. I might get to them, I might not. It's more about getting outside and walking around for a bit anyway. I can be very serious, but I don't always like to be super serious. But it is in my nature to be very unsatisfied with surface level nonsense. I was often very unhappy with my social life. Basically almost throughout my entire life, really. Not many exceptions to that. And this is the case with, as I mentioned this before, with many people that are very bored with people, not just the lower IQ thing, but if you have a higher IQ, you're often just a little bored with most people. It's nothing personal, of course. It's just someone really has to talk about this whatever, and like, okay, it's nice. Because you already kind of, it doesn't take as much thought to figure out a lot of things. You just find some things less interesting. Depends on the personality, of course. And of course, I've always not wanted to put myself out there. I prefer people coming to me. And that's just also something about me. It's a little bit unique, I suppose, but that is who I am. It's hard to not be that way. But, I'm finding, I wanted to talk, and I've mentioned this before, I've mentioned a lot of things before about dreams, and there are certain, I don't know if I'll get to the actual concrete dreams and I've mentioned many dreams before, and you can watch on my other videos. Some of them hopefully are kind of funny, some of them are kind of odd. They should reassure you that I'm very much a part of humanity, though. Just like you guys. I'm just like you guys, no matter how aloof I may have seemed in younger years, no matter how bored I can be with many more everyday subjects, I am very much human, and I very much feel deeply, and hopefully that comes out when you hear that stuff, my humanity, especially when I talk about things like dreams. And at some point you guys will hear more about music and things like that. When I was a little boy, I think I know where to go with this. I'll mention other dreams later. And I'm writing some more music about dreams and things. Oh, that Windshield Factor. Gotta love it. I can keep the helmet up. At least I live in Washington, not Minnesota. I love Minnesota, don't get me wrong. I think it's a great state. It really is. But mosquitoes in the summer, bitter cold in the winter. Washington has its perks. Not just Minnesota, of course. So, I am doing the one-handed and one-pocket thing. The other hand is holding the camera thing, by the way. Well then, Ben, you should have put gloves on. If I had gloves, I don't know where they're at. But as a boy, and, you know, it kind of fits, I guess, the winter night being as dark as it is. Hopefully you guys can tell that at least there are some lights. On the camera, it looks darker than it actually is here. I mean, it's a dark night, but probably looks darker again on my camera than it really is. I can see just fine. But as a boy, I definitely had some pretty intense nightmares. And they often had to do with, and I've mentioned things about color before. Color has always been a big part of my psyche. You think, I'm a musician, why didn't I become an artist? It's just, I was better at music, skill-wise. But my mind is very drawn toward different colors. And I've mentioned before in other videos, again, these effects that different colors have on me. It's particularly in the clown videos and red and stuff like that. And white and white faces and stuff. It wasn't that I was scared of clowns, it's just that it definitely has, I know the, I know where a lot of the phobias come from, that whole thing. Red equals blood, ghostly faces kind of thing, you know. So, I had some dreams, not just as a boy, but it had to do with different kinds of places I'd be at in dreams. And as you could probably guess, if the setting was in the daytime, it generally tended to be, more often than not, a bit more of a cheerful feel about the dream. And those are good dreams. Not always. But if it was at night, there was one recurring dream I had where I was either watching TV or I was kind of laying down, like I wasn't very mobile at the moment. As my parents were heading out the door, they were going to visit some friends in the neighborhood. And I was kind of trying to keep up with them or go with them, but I couldn't really get up, you know. And so I was like, wait for me, you know. Don't go very far. And there was a TV logo that I was particularly frightened of. It was the Paramount. Paramount, I think. It was a Lalo Schifrin TV logo. I mean, he did the music. It was very big and brassy and had timpani in it, and it either woke you up or, it's very sudden, right? And I think you guys know what I'm talking about, but everybody has this interest in TV logos and the scare factor of them and that sort of thing. So it definitely scared me. I called that the big noise when I was a little boy, like 3, 4, 5 years old, you know. But that, you know, I somehow knew that big noise was coming soon on the TV, and I didn't want to be alone when my parents would be gone. already inside this other house. It's almost like when I saw them far enough away, it was almost like watching the Flintstones. When you see, of course that's more of it's a similar but different thing. I saw my mom and dad, siblings, and they're knocking on the door. Anyway. And here I was about to experience this big noise. Scared me to death for some reason. So I was blinking my eyes, cringing, trying to get awake. And yes, the word term cringe is still very much overused, but I could use that word. I think I'll use the word squint rather than cringe. I was squinting very hard, bunching up my nose, my face, trying to wake up. And I woke up. I always woke up before something scary happened. But there's a deeper train of thought I have for you guys. And it kind of goes something like this. And you always wonder as a boy just how spiritually real whatever was going on. We always try to understand dreams better and things. I wonder, nobody wants to be left alone. Nobody wants to be alone in the dark. Nobody wants to be alone with scary things and demons and that sort of thing. And even frightening TV logos when you're a little kid. That sort of thing. Nobody wants that. But again, there are deeper trains of thought here. We all have this desire to not be left behind. We all have this desire, again, to not be alone. We all have this desire to not be alone with who? With evil with evil spirits, with beings that are truly frightening, reprehensible. That's what we don't want. And when we're little, we sense that on some level, but we just don't know what we're afraid of. We kind of do, kind of don't. But as we get older, and things tend to kind of make a bit more sense over time. You kind of get this feeling when you're with different people and experiencing different things in life. You get this feeling on some level of being more in the hubbub of warmth and fun and goodness and friendship and all the other things that we want in life. Or you don't feel that way. You feel very separate from that. But there are worse things yet. I kid you not. At least online, I probably shouldn't mention things too much in this regard in real life, but at least in real life, I've had people talk to me about the supernatural, for instance, and they've said, at least online, but it has happened on some level in real life. Can you imagine what someone is going through when things are so crazy in their life and so messed up, they actually have to deal with evil spirits messing with them? Can you imagine what that must be like? I can't imagine that. But that is literally like not being able to wake up from a nightmare. That kind of situation. And there are many other situations like it. As adults, we try to get tougher. We try to survive. We try to say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We, with time, become wiser, more perceptive, less likely to be taken advantage of, less likely to, and so on and so forth, right? We can protect other people. We see things coming. And, starts with the more typical bullies. Say, hey, knock it off. All the way to the spawn of Satan himself, really, really evil entities. We can have the fortitude to deal with that stuff. I would never imagine in my wildest dreams any kid being able to stand up to those evil spirits, but there are some. I would go as far as to say that you have Old Testament prophets that probably have been able to do that. Take some serious guts. But anyway. So I think on some level I've always had this desire to not be left behind, to not be left alone, to deal with whatever. By myself, But you do gain strength. You do gain strength dealing with that stuff by yourself. Just that I don't think any of us were meant to, we shouldn't have to fight some things alone. The trick of it is, recognizing stuff, that's like a recurring nightmare. We just don't think it is. And then knowing how to wake up from it. To go a step further here, again, as a little kid, some of these dreams I had were it seems so simple, right? You can't get up. You can't, because, of course, when you're asleep, you're often in this laying down position, right? It seems so simple. And it seems like, just let it get dark. Let the big noise come. What's going to happen? You can't get hurt. It's a dream, right? We had that train of thought as adults. When we're kids, we have no frame of reference. We have everything is so new, right? I mean, there's many things that I don't understand fully. I just know that on some level, darkness doesn't always equate with evil. But darkness and evil are connected somehow. And I don't fully understand that connection. And I don't think I want to. I just know that when we're afraid, on some level, even if it's very faint, as adults, when we're a little bit afraid of it being pitch black, there's a reason why we're afraid. It's not out of fear necessarily of falling into a pit and hurting ourselves seriously. It's because, what? It's because darkness hides evil spirits. Because evil spirits do not want to come out into the light because of what kind of beings they are, because of their character, because the light exposes their character for what and who they are. And, I didn't think I was going to get into this plane of talk of good versus evil, but this whiteness, pure light kind of thing, the pure light of heaven versus pitch blackness. This is a very real thing. And again, at night, I'm walking in here at night, you wonder, it can't be all that bad, right? There aren't evil spirits around here just because it's dark. Well, it's often been said that spirits are more active at night. What kind of spirits? I want to believe it's both good and bad, but so the fear we sometimes have isn't just, it's like it's kind of like most catch-22s. It's like we're afraid of darkness because it's dark, can't see the unknown, but we all can also feel some degree of it's not light, it's dark, right? We love the light because I don't know, it's just something very instinctive inside of ourselves, I think. And if you don't love the light, it's easy to be, you know, we get used to the night being restful for our physical bodies here on Earth, but there will come a point in time after this life when we don't have to sleep anymore. I don't know, I'm looking forward to that time. But it's just, well, anyway. I'll mention a bit more later. It's really stinking cold out here, folks. It's really cold. I'm gonna hit the hay here. Hopefully it's been an interesting video. Yeah, it's more about how cold it is than how dark it is. I'm not a scaredy cat, don't worry. I will catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.